Hello YouTube. Just got back from seeing Battle Los Angeles, and I must say I highly, highly recommend you guys go out and see this film. If you at all are interested in the alien invasion genre, and let's say perhaps have been disappointed by some of the recent films that really even not about the actual alien invasion, go see this film because this will be the movie you've been waiting for. If you were disappointed in Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds because you didn't really see the war, go see this film because that's what literally this entire film is about. It's very much I think it's a very good callback to the older alien invasion films that were really about, hey, aliens are invading. So it really just shows the invasion from the military's perspective, which a lot of movies have thought that was the cliche and have gone so far away from it, and always showing the civilians and trying to make that's like unique, like Skyline. They really try to show, hey, we're looking at the alien invasion film from outside the military. Really, there hasn't been that many films that looked at it from the inside, from how the military, the soldiers on the ground would have thought about it. So, in my opinion, this actually makes it more unique than all the other alien invasion films. But the film really is pretty much from after we get a quick little, they do one of those quick shots where they show like the whole invasion going on, and then they go 24 hours earlier, and then of course we get character development for a little while, and then we get right back into the invasion. And once the invasion starts, the battle this continues throughout the entire movie, very much in the same way and in the same pacing of Black Hawk Down, which is another way. If you really like kind of military and these war films, don't knock this one off because it's an alien invasion film. It's very much in the same spirit. In fact, I think they take lots and lots of scenes and inspiration from regular war movies. The aliens aren't that alien in the way they fight. And this movie is very much, pace-wise, you can almost say a sister film of Black Hawk Down. In the same way that movie, as soon as his firefight started, it lasted throughout till the end of the movie. There were, of course, a few little semi-quiet scenes where they would talk, get more character development, move on. We'd see people that we cared about, characters, get killed, others almost get killed, and, of course, exciting shooting. And that's exactly what you want from a good war movie, and in this case, a good alien invasion movie. It's a good alien war movie. The characters and the casting were very, very well done. Outside of Aaron Eckhart and Michelle Rodriguez, there's really nobody that you'd probably recognize. However, everyone they got in did a very good job, and I think the most important thing that they did with this is they gave very realistic performances. Not that, I would say, overly realistic performances where they kind of try to overblow it too much. Kind of people try to take it in like, oh my god, there's aliens. So they kind of overly do, like more real than real type acting, but they don't keep it completely wooden, and which really comes across good because the dialogue is something you would expect. Let's say Quaritch from Avatar, Stephen Lang's portrayal. You could really see them saying, but the way these guys do it, they're saying that type of kind of hoorah dialogue, but in a way that you kind of find more believable and you would expect actual Marines to be saying. If you kind of get my drift on that one. So the character choices were very good. I don't want to get too much into individual characters because one bad side of having a film like this is everyone's in the same uniform, so it's kind of hard to tell the difference sometimes. They try to give everybody. There's a guy from Jersey. There's an immigrant from Nigeria. So you can kind of tell the differences between some of the characters that way, but that is always the one problem you have in war films is sometimes it's hard to tell who's who in the middle of some of the action scenes and who got killed. But then again, that's kind of realistic to combat. Aaron Eckhart did a very good job as being, of course, kind of portraying the sergeant he's gotten men killed in the past, and he's just ready to retire. He's gotten too old, his shelf life has passed. Doesn't have a southern accent, but that's what I'm doing for him. Yeah, he literally starts in the film like turning in his retirement papers after he got men killed in the last action he saw in Iraq. So it's kind of a stereotypical way to introduce the sergeant, but he does a fairly good job. I surprisingly believe him as a kind of a Marine sergeant there. And I know someone's gonna go. He technically was a whatever sergeant, but I forget his rank he had in the film. Was it a gunny? I'm trying to think. It might have been a gunny. I'm trying to remember exactly what they call him in the film. But the other big one is Michelle Rodriguez, who doesn't really show up until like the last 2/3, well, maybe a little before the last 2/3 of the film. She kind of meets up with them. They kind of form a little ad hoc squad with her and a couple of army guys that she was with. And but she is quite badass in this film, especially towards, let's just say, towards the end firefights. She decides to strap on a bayonet, and is very much like, "I'm gonna go get me these aliens," and starts bayoneting them aliens. One of them even winds up punching her, and she winds up bayoneting it to death, and she goes, "That hurt." Michelle Rodriguez, one of the few female actresses who really can. They have so many other actresses that just look too much like a supermodel and too much like you expect them to be cowering in a corner. I can believe Michelle Rodriguez was in the military, or I can believe when she plays a role like that, she has a little bit of authenticity to her. Which really comes across good in this film, because they are trying to make it a little bit like it's real life, without trying to get too much, without getting overly realistic, or without getting into the too ridiculous. Not like Drive Angry that I saw that my previous review was on. No, this one's it finds a good balance between the two. It knows what it is, but it doesn't go too far into that direction. Now from here on out, I'm giving a spoiler warning. It's in effect. Spoilers are about to be revealed, so if you don't want to have the movie ruined for you, stop listening now, go out and see the film, because I want to talk about a couple scenes that some people might not want ruined for them yet. There is one great scene in this movie, is they, early on after they get to this police station, which of course they're the only squad that is sent away from the main defense line, like they're forming up a whole defensive line to keep the aliens from overtaking all of LA, except for of course your squad. You're going out to find these civilians. Why we don't just fly a helicopter, because at this time they had air superiority, out to that exact position, poke around, see if there's civilians there. No, we're going to send people on foot first. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, especially because they're going to pick them up in a helicopter, but I'm getting off topic. They get there, and eventually they wind up finding an alien that looks like some debris fell on, and it's still alive. So they grab it, haul it back into the. Sorry, drinking my Fanta that's left over. They drag it back in, and they're like, "We have to figure out how to kill this thing." And so they start. I guess the aliens never signed the Geneva Convention, so they start pulling out organs and going, "Let's see, will this one kill it?" No. Let me see if I can stab this Gucci thing and see. No, that didn't kill it. And they probably pull out 5 organs, and eventually they find one and stab it, and he goes, "That killed it." I'm thinking there, maybe it was just a cumulative effect of everything else you did to this thing. But apparently it actually worked. Who knows? Speaking of that, the actual alien designs, not overly original, I would say. But not too cliche either. They're kind of, if you've played Resistance Fall of Man, they're kind of like that, where they have, or if you played Quake, they're kind of like the Strogg too, where they're kind of a mix between biology and mechanical parts. Like they kind of hacked off arms and stuck machine guns on them. Which, yeah, the aliens don't use lasers or plasma bolts. They pretty much, it seems like they're shooting bullets. Which is always interesting, because even if there's a future, even if they show something in the future, it tends to be the humans are still using regular projectile weapons, and the aliens are always using laser rifles. And this time the aliens are still using machine guns. It makes them a little bit more badass, I suppose. and I should say, now this isn't a real big spoiler at all, actually, but because it's kind of mentioned in only background chatter. The aliens are apparently invading to get our water. Somebody was a fan of the original V series, because that's the purpose they invaded in that one. But yeah, apparently the aliens' Earth is unique because we have liquid water close to the surface. So the aliens have come to steal our water. I guess it's slightly cheaper than having to thaw the water out on every other asteroid, moon, solid-based planet, comet. I mean, I can kind of suspend my disbelief, and I'll just go with what I like to always go. It's the Cortez theory. You know, this is whenever there's something like that in an alien invasion film. This is just some breakaway commander who took a few troops from a local group. He decided to get what looked like some fast cash. In this case, I'll go grab this water real quick, wipe out the species, and before anyone can really have a chance of getting me in trouble, I can say, look, this great conquest I did. That's what I'm going with, to help suspend your disbelief. Of course, though, they also have apparently aliens have learned their lessons, or took advice from the Trade Federation, because the aliens' aircraft are all drones, which is fairly realistic for an advanced species, but they have one central control nod for them. And, well, of course, Aaron Eckhart's group winds up finding it, blowing it up, and all the drones fall from the sky, and they're able to eventually come back in, and the Marines decide to relaunch the counteroffensive, because now the aliens are stuck with their infantry, and they're pretty much screwed. And this is the other way in which this film is very much like Black Hawk Down, because in that movie it ends with like the one special forces guy, he grabs some quick bite to eat, and he goes basically, I'm going back out there, grabs some ammo and heads on out. And that's basically how they ended in this one. You know, Eckhart and I won't say who survived, we'll put it that way, but Eckhart and whoever's left basically decide they're just going to grab their gear, put some more ammo into their pockets and such, and they hop back on that helicopter, and they're going to go retake LA. Of course, right after they've told everybody else how to burn down all the other alien control nods throughout the rest of the world. What movie was like that from? Oh yeah, Independence Day. There are, if you pay real close attention, a lot of nods to other war movies and alien invasion films. Not overly done so, like they're outright stealing stuff, but enough as a little bit of a wink and a nod to anyone who's a real fan of both genres. Which to me, that's fan service. Let's just say the non safe for work fan service, and I appreciate it. You know, you have to be somewhat of a genre fan to enjoy it, and you'll enjoy seeing this stuff. So I highly recommend the film. I think I was talking about the alien design earlier. Yeah, I already did talk about that. I liked them. I liked the characters. They were relatable. They were realistic. Not overly realistic, though. That's an important distinction. Certainly, if you're a Marine, you're really going to like this film, because it's very hoorah. Which, I have to go and, I think I have a buddy of mine who serves at that Marine base. You know, he's in a Marine base somewhere out in, California there. So if their units are actually accurate, he might be in that unit. I have to call him and see if he's actually seen this film. He might have actually been an extra in it. I haven't talked to him in about a year, so should give him a call. See, film's even bringing people together. But it is highly enjoyable. I highly recommend it. Go see it. I've gone on for about 15 minutes now. I think that's enough talking for one movie's worth. So go out, see the film, enjoy it. We'll get back to you guys after I see Sucker Punch, which is coming out next week or the week after. One of those two. I have to go double check. Signing off.